The fifth dimension is placid and contains everything. Replicas of each object in all stages of evolution. Take your phone, for example. It has its existence in the fifth dimension, totally encompassing all stages of its construction and eventual disintegration. If you were to look at all these things around us from the fifth dimension, you would see them in their totality of evolutionary development. And you would see this as one moment. If you were to see a person from the fifth dimension, you would see him as an infant, a grown man, an old man, as dead, decayed, and reborn all right now, in every split-second area of his whole life pattern. It's the same with everything. We can, of course, talk about myriad of dimensions, but on what timeline does the shift happen? Because dimensions before fifth are too boring to discuss, and dimensions above fifth are too complicated to put into words. So, let's look at the totality from inside of fifth dimension. What type of thinking is, for you, fifth dimensional thinking? When we talk about dimensions, there are two types of concepts. Physicians call it spatial dimensions and metaphysicians call it spiritual dimensions. The lower dimensions are not lesser, like fewer dollars, but lower as in vibration, as pitch can be higher or lower in music. Which pitch is better? Hopefully the answer is obvious. None. They are all important. Each serves a purpose. We perceive our environment in 3 dimensions, but we don't actually live in a 3D world. We have to add a 4th dimension to begin to describe the nature of our existence. The 4th dimension is the palace of philosophers. That's basically where we spend most of our life. And whenever we briefly touch the 5th dimensional thinking, we feel major relief. Just being free of timeline gives us an immense bliss. Some people even declare they got enlightened or they experienced nirvana. This is how little it takes for us to be happy. If you are willing to know what Buddha knew, or what the Egyptian Book of the Dead exactly meant, you do not have to study the nonsense that people around them wrote. All these mystics of the past are not really past. They may have physically died a long time ago, but as far as the core of their work is concerned, it is always now. You can access it and see the way Jesus did things in his life, and witness everything he witnessed. Jesus is right now, not 2,000 years ago. Because all beings who have gone through all dimensions of barriers within themselves and touched the ultimate, what they distilled within themselves is for always. It is on the inner net or yogic net. You just have to access it. The 5th dimension begins with the feeling of timelessness, and that, I agree, feels really like a big relief. Higher dimensions are sometimes described as realms where time is perceived differently, or even as a dimension where time as we know it does not exist. Notice that it directly transforms the main element of spatial 4th dimension, which is time. If we assume that the 3-dimensional world is space itself, length, width, and height, time is the 4th dimension of spatial concept. But don't fall victim to these notions. What is accurate way to describe 2 or 3 dimensions is a faulty way to describe 4th, and so on. The 5th dimension is not timeless by definition. It just has no flow of time as it does in 3rd dimension. It is pure insight. Then insight is translated to the 4th dimension, where it can be comprehended by the outer consciousness of man. From the 5th dimension, we can look millions of years into the past, check out the Akashic records, or project an object into the future according to the vibratory ratio. When people function in the 5th dimension, they are not out of touch with daily realities. It makes them extremely alert and bright. They're right there. They see things that have to be done and do them. Since they draw from a vast storehouse of energy and a broad evolutionary vantage point, they even do unfamiliar tasks with confidence, as thought they had performed it 1,000 times. They haven't done it before, but they have. They feel they have. Nothing seems strange or awkward. Everything is familiar and they bring grace into every department of life. In the beginning, we discover the fifth dimension only through flashes, brief insights. People have had intuitive flashes that have altered and changed the pattern of their entire life. Great inventions and music have come from the fifth dimension in a flash, followed by years of working all of the details through to the fourth and third dimensions. The still small voice, or the inner voice, comes directly from the fifth dimension. The third eye functions from the fifth and sixth dimensions. Awakened psychics enter the fifth dimension and are able to read patterns of the future and past through the third eye. From this, we can see that the fifth dimensional world, which is a very vibrant world, is the core of the body of the soul and the pivot point from which human destiny is mapped out. While science maps what can be measured and replicated, there's an older and broader tradition, one that maps what can be accessed through trained perception and altered states. Vedic cosmology, for example, reveals a cyclical multidimensional universe, a Brahman made up of 14 lokas, or worlds. It operates on immense time cycles known as kalpas and spans 14 distinct planes of existence. The 14 realms are split into 7 higher dimensions of increasing consciousness, and 7 lower realms defined by dense matter and material illusion. Yet it is a world completely independent of all others. That is the paradox. It is all form in time and space, and yet has nothing to do with what we normally call time and space. In the fifth dimension, we have no sense of ego, no personal me or mine, which, after all, are composed of the elements of the second and third dimension. Most of the people who are no longer part of third dimensional thinking shifted to more holistic life of fourth dimension. It is known to be a stage of self-reflection and contemplation. The instant does not have time, and time is made from the movement of the instant. You move from competition to collaboration, from power and control to cooperation. Your focus is on solutions rather than your problems. There is understanding of others' needs and perspectives without taking sides. There is less judgment, less fear, and a lack of concern about what others think. You develop your own connection to Source through meditation, using intuition and learning about your innate psychic abilities. You understand you are interconnected to everything. Knowing you makes a difference. The more you align with an entity greater than you, the more you understand your life purpose. When it comes to intellect and thinking, fifth dimension is not a pumped-up, enhanced fourth dimension, just as it might sound as we go higher, but rather the fifth dimension is associated with the transcendence of dualistic thinking as such. In the third and even fourth dimension, we often perceive reality through opposites, but the fifth dimension is thought to involve a higher level of unity consciousness, where dualities are transcended and a holistic perspective emerges. Most of you who watched this video already shifted to fourth dimension. This process also strengthened our Antahkarana bridge, which connects us directly to our monad in the higher dimensions. The Antahkarana is a Sanskrit term. In Eastern philosophy, it is the name given to the bridge that connects the lower mind with the higher mind, mind of the soul. Through it, an individual is able to realize the soul's profound love and wisdom. The Antahkarana is basically a communication conduit. It makes possible the realization of wisdom and guidance that transcends the rational thinking processes of the lower self, personality. The Antahkarana gives inspirational insight into things that the personality cannot fathom on its own. As such, it is the medium used by the soul to communicate its love and purpose into the human mind. It is so that lower manas, the intellect, can effectively trap higher manas, the consciousness within itself, preventing its union with the two higher principles. Therefore, one enters the fifth dimension without intellect and time. You might shift to fifth dimension and then go back to fourth, to analyze and rationalize your experience. So in the beginning, it is indeed like a dance. Step forwards, step backward. 2 steps forwards, 1 step backwards. Remember, no matter what you hear me saying, it is not the truth about 5th dimension. It is mere speculation of words and notions. All true work is done internally only. Expand your consciousness and you will feel the shift. It's not just an enhancement of the cognitive processes experienced in the 3rd dimension, but a qualitative shift in awareness encompassing a deeper understanding of interconnectedness and oneness. Some spiritual teachings suggest that the 5th dimension is characterized by heart-centered awareness, where decisions and actions are guided by love, compassion, and understanding. This goes beyond the ego-driven, analytical thought processes predominant in the 3rd dimension. However much we advance in the development of consciousness, the end will never be reached. However much the unconscious can be integrated and become part of the consciousness, this process never ends. However much each archetype can be integrated and become part of the consciousness, this process never ends. However much the self can be integrated and become part of consciousness, the self is infinite and can continue to be integrated forever. Although the trained mystic can remain in intense states of the 5th dimension for long periods of time, the first experiences are generally brief, intuitive flashes. Yet even these seemingly short encounters represent vast mental, emotional, and spiritual adjustments so potent are the superconscious forces. The 5th dimension is very ramified. It is a kind of area that you can get in and become a full-time psychic and read people's past lives and future lives and make a fortune or something, but won't get you closer to realization. It will just get you remixed in a new way. So portions of it are valuable. Kind of the divine consciousness aspect of it is valuable to be able to experience, particularly when dealing with the outer world, to have that going on at the same time. But we don't want to explore it in great detail. We want to pass through it and go deeper into the 7th dimension where we have pure consciousness aware of itself. We need to have very good habits in dealing with the physical world, which we are calling the 2nd dimension here, as well as good habits in dealing with our emotions, so that we are not always upset and we are not always upsetting others. And the ability to control our thinking so that it is not just running wild. We are not just worrying about the future, regretting the past, sitting there with an intellect which is turned on during all our waking hours. You know, we have to have those 3 areas under control through developing positive habits. And to have good habits in dealing with our physical surroundings, all of that is needed so that we can experience a deeper dimension like the 5th dimension. And then when we do, we can hold it more than a few seconds. Just like a toddler is learning to walk, we learn to be present. It is not possible to fail. Anyone who wishes to achieve mastery will succeed, regardless if they use tools and invoke help. Like a child learns to walk, they might use a chair to help themselves walk sooner, but they will learn to walk whether learned slowly or quickly.